This is Feed Your Mind, and so I came across a pretty disturbing clip. It's from a radio show. The show was hosted by this guy named Art Bell. Now, I don't know too much about Art Bell. He might be kind of like a coast-to-coast show or something, possibly. I'm not sure. It sounds like this guy is actually a radio host, like AM or FM radio or something, but I don't know if he's still around or anything. I don't know how old this clip is. I think it's pretty dated though, because I remember running across this clip a long time ago, but it's came back around, and this time I'm gonna document it. Because this caller, he called in. He seemed super frantic. He was over dramatic. I guess that's why. I don't know if this is legit or not. I would guess it was like some type of stage thing, but then they say that this show was taken off the air in the middle of his call, and that brings some credibility to the call. And then I've heard testimony from witnesses who listened to the show live, and they said, yeah, the show literally got taken off the air. So I don't know. I mean, let me know what you all think about it. I'm going to play the clip, and then I want to come back with some commentary. So here's the clip.
Hello, Art? Yes. Hi. I don't have a whole lot of time.
Well, look, let's begin by finding out whether you're using this line properly or not. You know.
A former employee. I was let go on a medical discharge about a week ago, and I've kind of been running across the country. Oh man, I don't know where to start. They're gonna they'll triangulate on this position really soon.
So you can't spend a lot of time on the phone. So give us something quick.
Okay. Okay. What we're thinking of as aliens are they're extra dimensional beings that an earlier precursor of the space program made contact with. They are not what they claim to be. They have infiltrated a lot of aspects of the military establishment, particularly the Area 51. The disasters that are coming, the military, the government knows about them, and there's a lot of safe areas in this world that they could begin moving the population to now, Art.
But they're not doing anything.
They are not. They want the major population centers wiped out so that the few that are left will be more easily controllable.
Discharge.
Okay, guys. So it's almost over.
I started getting...
The radio program was cutting off around
In
this
some
time.
way, something knocked us off the air, and we're on a backup system now.
Is it the government, or...
I don't know.
It has to be something, though.
Well, did you...
Yeah, so that's the clip, and so yeah, look, I mean, you see at the end it was like the show was being cut off. That's where the witnesses had said, yeah, they verified like the show was literally cut off. So some of the things that this guy was saying, I mean, I don't know what you guys think about it, but I mean, that's kind of what we were discussing on our alien videos on this channel, was that what people think of as aliens are not aliens. They're the fallen ones. And he's calling them extra dimensional beings. And I can kind of get with that too, because it's like a spiritual dimension they're coming from. They're down here with us. That's why people are experiencing things like ghosts, and, they're channeling things. I think it's the same beings, and they're in a realm invisible to us. They're here, allegedly trapped on this earth, and they can't leave this earth. And basically, what does that make Earth? That makes Earth some type of holding cell or something, possibly. But because like, why would they be here in this dimension with us? I mean, that's pretty disturbing. Now, one thing that not Art, but the caller was saying was that it had something to do with the space programs, and that they made contact with these beings. So, I mean, look, we know what we know about space, right? So we know that's not these space programs aren't really interested in space, but they are attempting to contact certain beings, and they're trying to make contact with them, I guess, in another dimension here on this earth. They're sending signals or whatever, trying to make contact with them. But what really stood out was how this caller was saying that he used to work there. It sounded like he worked at Area 51 and he got discharged for some type of medical reasons. And he was terrified. It sounded like that's what kind of threw me off, because I couldn't imagine anyone living in that much fear. I mean, I don't know, whatever. But what he said was that it sounds like he's saying that these beings are actually working in a lot of these agencies. So they got high positions of power throughout different agencies, it sounds like. And I covered in detail in my alien playlist. I'll leave a link in the comment section and description box. And I covered the different types of aliens. We can call them fallen ones. Either way, they're the same beings. And there's different kinds. Some of them are actually human looking, and others are shape-shifting and able to take human form by practicing some type of ritualistic vampiric activities. There's others that look like bugs and, the big head, large eyes, different types of creatures. There's several types of species of these fallen ones. And they want to be presented, they want people to think they came from outer space, but really they're the fallen ones that are here on this earth. And it's interesting how he said they're working in high positions of power. It sounds like they're really infiltrated the Area 51, whatever that's going on there. It sounds like he was terrified of them, and they're like the bosses and stuff. Like, it sounds like he realized that these aren't humans. And that actually kind of makes sense when you look at a lot of these policies that are being presented to humanity. A lot of them don't seem to be like, people are just trusting them like a religion. Like, people are trusting these people overly. It's like the general public is really putting their faith in man, and they believe everything that these scientists are saying. And a lot of the implications of what they're saying leads to more control and power over humanity, it seems like. And the people are giving them this power over us because they believe, like, oh, you're trying to save us. You got, you say something real scary and then you have a solution. So we're going to go with the solution. But the thing that they said that was so scary, like about the climate and health and everything, all those things that scare people. Well, a lot of those things aren't, they're made up. Okay. They're made up stuff, and people are just super terrified overhearing from trusted people that this is what's going to come if you don't, take our orders. And people just give them all this power to rule over us harder and rule over us more with more control, just because they think that this is protecting the future of humanity. And, it wouldn't surprise me if these beings are in power. I can really agree with that. I know the power structure of these secret societies are designed to take orders from the invisible realms, and they take, the hierarchy structure at the top. It sounds like they're taking orders from the fallen one, the one I don't speak of, the one that got kicked out of heaven, the main guy. It sounds like, his name starts with an L, yeah, that one. So the Bible calls him something else. The Bible calls him, it starts with an S, and also the dragon. And, I don't speak of his name because I just don't. I try to limit that, but it sounds like that's who is in control of all the other ones, all the invisible ones, and when it comes to the secret organizations at the very top, it sounds like they're taking orders from a main fallen one in the invisible realm, and probably a group of them. They're probably organized too in that group. But like I said, I mean, it sounds like it all comes down to humanity falling under the control of the invisible realm through them. And they have a hierarchy structure where it sounds like they're in positions of power and they're taking orders, they're channeling, and they're doing all types of stuff. So they're all around us in plain sight. And so the basics of what that caller was saying, I can kind of see some truth in that. But as far as if the caller was an actor or not, I mean, I just really think he sounded a little extra. He sounded way extra. Like the fear in his voice, and it just sounded like he was like I said, over dramatic. So I don't know what to think about that. But as far as the city centers though, that's another thing he brought up. And that's kind of how society is set up. They got all these major city centers all around and close, one near you. There's one near every state. There's like this major city center, and I guess that's the best way for control, or is that natural? Like, is that natural the way people have gathered into these major city centers where millions and millions of people live in these city centers, and then they kind of spread out from there? Or like, is set up that way, I guess, is that something, a natural process, or is that something that they implemented for other reasons, like that guy was saying? Because I can't get into detail. I really shouldn't be repeating the stuff he was saying, because you're not really supposed to talk about stuff like that on these platforms. But basically he was saying, if something happens to these city centers, I mean, there's going to only be left the few, and that would be easy to control the remaining. And then, like I said, as far as the show getting knocked off the air while he was live saying that stuff, that if that can be verified, I guess that would add all the credibility to that call. So, I mean, if there's any investigators that could go back and look into that show and find out if that show was really kicked off the air like they say. Like I said, I heard the testimony from witnesses who said that did happen. They were listening to it live and the show stopped. Like, it was on the radio, I guess, and the show was literally knocked off the air. So that's the only thing that really adds credibility, I think, to the whole thing. So let me know your thoughts about this. And everything we covered in this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I'm gonna leave a link to my aliens playlist. There's a lot of good information in there that you're gonna want to check out. I'm also going to leave links to my free email newsletters and my social media, my other channels, and much more. I'm also going to leave links if you'd like to support this channel. You can donate as little as $1 to help keep Feature Mind online. Plus, your support's going to help me get much more documentary-style videos out. We must remain listener-supported because they try to suppress a lot of this content. So your support helps me stay online. Thank you for tuning in. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. This has been Feature Mind signing off.